The 94th Academy Awards are almost here, and I wanted to make some videos predicting what I think is going to win in most of the categories. In my last video, I guessed who's going to win Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress. In this 9th of 10 prediction videos, I'm going to talk about who I think is going to win Best Actor and Best Actress. Here we go. First up is Best Actor. The nominees are Javier Bardem in Being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch in The Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield in Tick, Tick, Boom, Will Smith in King Richard, and Denzel Washington in The Tragedy of Macbeth. I don't know if Best Actor this year is as much of a lock the way it was 2 years ago with Joaquin Phoenix winning for Joker, but it's clear there's a solid frontrunner who won at the Golden Globes, who won at SAG, who's overdue, who has received 2 Academy Award nominations in the past and has still not won. It definitely feels like his time, and so I think Will Smith is the likely victor in this category. I don't know who could necessarily overtake him. I don't think Will Smith has this 100% in the bag, as I'm going to talk about here, but I think he has a pretty clear path to his first ever Oscar victory. There are 2 names here that are not going to win, that have 0 shot. Those 2 names are Javier Bardem and Denzel Washington. Neither one of those is going to happen. We're all looking for Denzel Washington's 3rd Academy Award win. He, of course, has won 2 before, one for Glory in Supporting Actor and one for Training Day in Lead Actor. I feel like he's got at least one more Academy Award win in him in the next 10 to 20 years, but it's not going to be for The Tragedy of Macbeth. I wouldn't feel that sorry for him since every few years he seems to get nominated for something. I'm sure in the next 3 to 5 years there'll be another one, maybe even sooner than that. It's a terrific performance, but it's a movie that didn't quite sit well with everybody. It's a movie that didn't show up in picture or director. It didn't do very well overall, so I don't see Washington winning this time. I still think Nicole Kidman has a shot to win Best Actress. Javier Bardem, I think, is just happy to be here for Being the Ricardos. He, of course, has a win from 2008 for his performance in No Country for Old Men. If Bardem had never won an Oscar before, I think he'd be more in the conversation. But Being the Ricardos hasn't been that well received. It didn't get in for director or picture. I think the only Oscar Being the Ricardos can win is for Nicole Kidman. The other person I just don't think can win anymore is Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom. Since the movie did not perform very well at the Oscars, it only picked up 1 other nomination in film editing. I was feeling like Garfield needed a SAG win. I felt like he needed to win at the Screen Actors Guild Awards to keep him in the conversation as a potential winner at the Oscars. He, of course, had an amazing 2021, also appearing in The Eyes of Tammy Faye and Spider-Man No Way Home, and he is amazing in Tick, Tick, Boom. He would be my choice to win. I just thought that was an exceptional performance through and through. And so he's my choice, but I just don't know. Like, if Tick, Tick, Boom had gotten into picture, even just 1 more nomination for picture, if it had gotten the 10th slot, I'd feel more comfortable maybe predicting him, but I just don't feel it anymore. I think it's just going to be a nomination, and hopefully in the years to come, Garfield will finally win his first Oscar. I think the only person who could possibly beat Will Smith is Benedict Cumberbatch in The Power of the Dog. He is sensational in that movie. I feel like of all the performances in Power of the Dog, that's the one that has stayed with me throughout the weeks. I think he's great in that. He has an Oscar nomination from a few years ago for The Imitation Game. He's been great for years, and his movie got the most nominations. It got 12 nominations. It got into picture, director, screenplay. I feel like if Power of the Dog were to win 1 acting award, I feel like it's Benedict Cumberbatch. If Will Smith was not in this category, I think our frontrunner would be Cumberbatch. I think he's an actor we all know and adore, and he's great in this movie. The movie is beloved by the Academy members. I'm not sure if Benedict Cumberbatch can pull off an Olivia Colman like the year of The Favourite, where we were all predicting Glenn Close to win for The Wife, and then boom, suddenly out of nowhere, we get Olivia Colman to surprise us all, or most of us anyway. It definitely surprised me. The thing with Will Smith is if King Richard had not shown up in any other category, if maybe it got into like one more technical category, maybe song, and then its only major nomination was for Best Actor, then I would be leaning more towards Benedict Cumberbatch. But King Richard has done very well all season. It got an ensemble nomination at SAG, and it got a Best Picture nomination at the Academy Awards. So people are watching it, and people are really enjoying it. Will Smith is overdue. He got nominated before for Ali and for The Pursuit of Happiness. And he's just been so consistently good in so many films throughout the years, even movies he didn't get nominated for, like Concussion. Everybody loves Will Smith. I've thought throughout the years, he's going to win an Oscar at some point. It just has to be the right project, the right character. As soon as I heard buzz about his performance in King Richard, even before the movie came out, I was like, this could be it. This could be the one that cinches the deal for Will Smith. And so early in the award season, I thought Andrew Garfield could maybe pull off a victory here. I don't feel that anymore. The only person I think can beat Will Smith is Benedict Cumberbatch, but as of now, I'm just not feeling it. I feel like when it comes to the narrative, I just don't think Benedict Cumberbatch has enough of a compelling narrative to push him over the top. If Cumberbatch had like 3 or 4 previous Oscar nominations and it's still not won yet, I'd feel more comfortable predicting him, but Will Smith has more previous Oscar nominations. He's been a beloved actor going back to the 90s for 30 years, and people really love the movie King Richard. It got into picture, it got into supporting actress, it got into screenplay. People are watching it and loving it. I think the choice here is pretty obvious. Who knows? There might be a surprise that blindsides us all, but as of now, my prediction for the winner of Best Actor is Will Smith for King Richard. Next up is Best Actress. The nominees are Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter, Penelope Cruz in Parallel Mothers, Nicole Kidman in Being the Ricardos, and Kristen Stewart in Spencer. Wow, what a race this has been all season long. It's always fun when it's not the same person winning everything. Like that year that Renee Zellweger won everything for Judy at the Golden Globes, at SAG, at Critics' Choice, and BAFTA. And it's just like, as good of a performance that was, I'm just like, it's just kind of dull when the same person wins everything. I mean, none of the nominees at BAFTA lined up with the nominees at the Oscars, and you had Lady Gaga being nominated everywhere, but then she missed out on the Oscar nomination. It's just been a crazy season, and all the way to the end, there's not any clear frontrunner. There's not anyone who has this in the bag for sure. I do think there is one name that has a much better shot as of now than anyone else, which I'll talk about. But first, let me kind of break down the other nominees in this category and talk about if they have a shot at all. I mean, it's weird in that I feel like any one of these 5 names could be read on Oscar night, and it wouldn't be the shock of the century. It wouldn't be like, what? How did that happen? I mean, all 5 of these names could potentially win. You could kind of make the case for any of them. And so that's what makes this race really exciting. In some ways, my choice for the winner here, it's just what I'm feeling at this moment. Maybe I'll change my mind in the days to come. It's just what I feel like I have a pretty good idea of who's going to win, but anything can happen in Best Actress. Let's start with Kristen Stewart and Spencer, because that movie only got this one nomination. This has been a weird season for Kristen Stewart because she did not show up at SAG, but she did show up at the Golden Globes and at Critics' Choice, and she got an Oscar nomination. Many were not predicting her to get in here. I did. I thought, looking at that performance, I thought that's going to make it in. I don't know how they ignore that. The same director made a similar kind of biopic with Natalie Portman and Jackie 5 years ago, and it felt like Kristen Stewart's been doing such great work in so many movies the last few years. It was time to give her her first Oscar nomination. I do think this is going to just be a nomination. I just do not see a reality where Stewart pulls off a win. I would say of the 5 names, that would be the biggest shock. is if they read the name Kristen Stewart. I just don't know how you do it. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of unprecedented in a way. You know, for the movie to only get the one nomination and for Kristen Stewart to not win at the Golden Globes, to not be nominated at SAG, and then for her to go on to win the Academy Award when the movie only has one nomination for her and that's it, didn't show up in any technical categories. I just do not see that happening. She's still young. She still has plenty of more films in her and more nominations in the future. I feel like enough voters will say, well, you know, we got her in for a nomination this time. Let's maybe award her next time. So I don't think Kristen Stewart's winning this, although I'm very, very, very happy to see her make it in. I'm very happy to call Kristen Stewart now an Academy Award nominee. The next one is Penelope Cruz. Her movie Parallel Mothers got into 2 categories. Got in just here in Best Actress and in Original Score. Penelope Cruz, I would feel a little bit more confident in predicting as like a wild card winner if she didn't already have an Academy Award. She won an Oscar in 2009 for her performance in Vicky Cristina Barcelona in the supporting actress category. She hasn't won in actress yet, so there is that. But it's not like Penelope Cruz is super overdue to finally win an Oscar. She already has one. She won back in the day. I feel like if she had lost that Oscar for Vicky Cristina Barcelona and had never won before, I'd maybe be leaning towards Penelope Cruz, even though she didn't show up at the Golden Globes or at SAG or at BAFTA. And it's hard to predict someone like that who's not showing up in any of these other categories. It just seems like that would be pretty wild too. I mean, it did get into Original Score, so it got into one other category. And I would love to see her win a Best Actress trophy. I just really think she's a fantastic actress, but I don't know if this is her year. I think in some ways the nomination is the award for Penelope Cruz this year. I don't think she's going to win. And then there's Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter. I keep thinking about this because 3 years ago I predicted Glenn Close to win for The Wife and did not even consider in some ways that Olivia Colman could win for The Favorite, and she did. Here she is again in a film that got into supporting actress, got into screenplay. It didn't, of course, do as well as The Favorite. The Favorite got, I believe, 10 Oscar nominations back in 2019. The Lost Daughter this year only got into 3, so it's not as well liked as The Favorite. And Olivia Colman already has one. Now, last year I predicted Carey Mulligan would win for her performance in Promising Young Woman. My rationale with that was she had a nomination for An Education more than a decade prior, and she's really, the whole show in that movie gave a dazzling performance. I never considered Frances McDormand because she had just won her second Oscar for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri 3 years before. And she had an Oscar from the 90s for Fargo. That seemed like overkill. Now, after that win, I'm always like, well, it doesn't matter if so-and-so won 2, 3, 4 years ago. They could still win again. That's clearly not a deterrent for some voters. But one thing that was helping McDormand a lot was that Nomadland was the frontrunner for director and picture, and everyone was watching it, and everyone was considering her performance. I don't think that's the case with Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter. The movie did not get in for picture or director. If The Lost Daughter had gotten into picture and director, I might predict Colman here, but it didn't. That's what makes it really tricky. It's kind of like the year that Julianne Moore won for Still Alice. That was a crazy year, and that Still Alice only got the one nomination, and then Julianne Moore won. And it doesn't happen very often. I might be predicting her if The Lost Daughter had gotten into picture director, but it didn't, and I'm just not feeling it this time. I think she's definitely still in the conversation, but I'm not predicting Olivia Colman. I think this category comes down to Jessica Chastain and Nicole Kidman. It gets really tricky because Kidman won the Golden Globe, Chastain won at SAG. The problem with the Golden Globes is that they weren't televised, so we didn't get a speech from Kidman. It kind of came and went, that win, for being the Ricardos. The first big televised win was Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Both are playing real-life historical figures, so there's that. There's a lot of love for Lucille Ball. Being the Ricardos got into actor, actress, supporting actor. Clearly, the actors love this movie. There might be just enough love for Nicole Kidman to win for Being the Ricardos, but here's what it comes down to for me. And it's like, it seems like a stupid argument since it was the argument I was making against Frances McDormand last year. But I just feel like Nicole Kidman has won. She won an Academy Award for The Hours. Yes, 19 years ago. It's been a while. But she has won. It's not like if Nicole Kidman had never won an Oscar, I think she's our winner. I think she would win. But she has won. So it's not like she's overdue for a second win. Of course, it's been almost 20 years, so maybe some people might think it's time. But then I look at Jessica Chastain. She has 2 previous nominations, one for The Help, one for Zero Dark 30, about a decade ago. She's been doing consistently excellent work in film after film. I'm thinking of A Most Violent Year, Miss Sloane, Molly's Game. Just a terrific actress. I mean, I've never been disappointed by a Jessica Chastain performance. She always gives us something interesting in every character she plays, and I wasn't a huge fan of either Being the Ricardos or The Eyes of Tammy Faye, but Jessica Chastain is certainly going for it in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I mean, it's a very big, bold performance all the way through. She's aging over many, many years, and different prosthetics and hairstyles and makeup, and it's the kind of performance that could win an Oscar, even though it's not necessarily my choice. I mean, I actually, of these 5, I'm kind of leaning towards Olivia Colman. I thought she was really just outstanding in that movie. If she hadn't won for The Favorite, she'd be 100% my vote, but she has won, so it gets so tricky. It gets so hard to predict these things. I mean, a few weeks ago, I was predicting that Jessica Chastain would not even get a nomination. And now the tables have turned, and yes, I am going to predict that she wins. I thought she gave a great speech at SAG. She's never won before. It doesn't feel like Nicole Kidman has enough momentum to take this all the way to an Oscar win. Kristen Stewart, Penelope Cruz, Olivia Colman. As I said before, any one of these 5 names could potentially win. Unlike Best Actor, where I feel like Javier Bardem and Denzel Washington have 0 chance. Nobody in actress has 0 chance. Everyone has at least a small chance at a victory, but I feel like it comes down to Kidman and Chastain, and that SAG award for Jessica Chastain really cinched the deal. I think that's going to take her all the way to Oscar night. I'm not 100% confident about this. I think if there's one acting category that will give us a big surprise, it's certainly going to be actress. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Nobody is safe. Anyone can win. But I have to predict somebody, and so I'm going with Jessica this year. So, my prediction for the winner of Best Actress is Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below who you think is going to win in the actor and actress categories. Do you agree with my picks? Do you think I have it all wrong? We'll find out on March 27th. Join me in my next video when I predict who I think is going to win in Best Director and what I think is going to win in Best Picture of the Year. See you then.